Real Estate Talk is provided for general information only and should not be treated as a substitute for professional advice. Please consult your trusted financial advisor, real estate professional, or attorney before making any real estate or financial decisions. Please remember, when following advice, your results may vary, and all information covered here is not intended to cover all aspects of the subject material, but rather a sample of issues the hosts and guests consider important. And now, Real Estate Talk with your host, Victoria Rivadeneira. Each week, Victoria gathers some of the best minds in the business to provide both professionals and non-professionals with the inside tips and tools to make smarter deals. Whether you're a buyer or seller, Real Estate Talk will give you the competitive advantage you need. And now, here's Victoria Rivadeneira.
Thank you and welcome to Real Estate Talk. Our mission here is to bring credible information from top experts to help you make better decisions when buying or selling real estate. We live video stream from the WOR iHeart Studios on Facebook.com/Victoria RIVA every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're on Facebook now and you're watching us, send us some love. Let us know that you're with us. Give us a comment. Our show airs on 710 WOR every Sunday morning at 5 a.m. I'm Victoria Rivadeneira, and I've been a New York State licensed broker for the past 25 years. I'm also a real estate instructor. I actually wear a lot of hats. I volunteer. We have someone in the studio today who's from NYSAR, and we'll explain what that means later. But I volunteer for NYSAR, and I have to plug that right now because of who we have in the studio. I have been volunteering for many committees, including Article 12A, Professional Standards, and so many others for the last 20 years. I was also president of Women's Council of Realtors twice. I'm also a business development officer for Stewart Title. But today, I am your host on Real Estate Talk, and I am here with my newest co-host who just joined our team. Welcome, Tracy Cangiano.
Thank you, Victoria. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be part of this.
We're so happy that you are a part of this.
I'm looking forward to it.
And we're happy that you actually got in your car this morning and drove all the way to New York City. You did not take the ferry.
No, I drove, I parked, I walked. I'm super thrilled to be part of this and meeting new people, Lior, and we have a great guest in the studio today who I'm familiar with for many years, and to be by your side is an honor.
Ah, well, thank you. And you're also by Lior's side. Lior Aldad is our legal counsel here. He covers the legal corner. We love having him here in the studio. Thank you very much for being with us, Lior.
Thank you. I look forward.
Yes. So, Tracy, what is our topic today?
So our topic today is a topic that's very near and dear to my heart. I've been a real estate broker on Staten Island for the last 14 years. I've been practicing for 18 years. And this topic we're going to discuss today is realtor versus non-realtor, realtor versus agent, and what the differences are. And today we have our guest, the 2017 president of the New York State Association of Realtors, Dawn Carpenter, here to have this conversation and to expand a little bit about what the differences are between a realtor and a non-realtor.
Right. So I said NYSAR before, and NYSAR is obviously the New York State Association of Realtors.
That's correct.
And we're going to explain what that really stands for and why it's so important that we're going to talk about that today. So why don't you introduce Dawn?
So Dawn Carpenter, taking it back 14 years ago, was my mentor and my teacher when I got my broker's license. A very, very amazing professional, the way she spoke, the way she taught. A lot of people in Staten Island took their classes with Dawn and are very successful today. In addition to being the 2017 president of the New York State Association of Realtors, she's also a past president of our local board, the Staten Island Board of Realtors. She's the owner of Dawning Real Estate Company in Staten Island. She's a certified property manager. She sits on numerous committees, both local and national. And, you know, in addition to...
When you say National Association of Realtors?
NAR, the National Association of Realtors.
What are some of the committees, do you know?
The committees that Dawn has served on, sure. She's the Realtor Political Action Committee, RPAC. She's on the Organizational Planning Committee. She's been, I just want to also say, in addition to being on all these committees and keeping busy there, she belongs to 4 boards.
Wow.
She belongs to Staten Island, Columbia Green. She belongs to Greater Capital, and also, am I missing one? Brooklyn, the Brooklyn board. Yep.
Well, let's get to it. Let's get her on the air because it's just so exciting to have her in the studio. And I'm afraid she's going to fall asleep here because she can't obviously sleep with all this going on in her life. When do you sleep, Dawn?
About 5 hours each night.
Oh, wow. All right. Well, I would never be able to survive on 5 hours, so more power to you. Welcome. Thank you very much for being here today.
Thank you for inviting me, Victoria, Tracy. I appreciate it. Tracy, that was quite the introduction you did. I look at it every once in a while and say, did I really do all of this? So thank you again.
You're welcome.
Thank you for being here. So, Dawn, I'm going to just jump right in, and I'm going to begin with a very basic question. Consumers really don't understand what it means to be a realtor. Most people think realtor is synonymous with a real estate agent. That is really not the case. Can you tell our listeners the difference between a real estate agent and a realtor?
Actually, I've been looking for the opportunity to talk about this today when we had talked about it a couple days ago. A realtor is a member of the National Association of Realtors. We're a real estate professional organization, a trade organization made up of 1.2 million members across the United States. In New York alone, there are 54,000 members. Actually, we're up 230 members since January 1 this year, which I'm very proud that the numbers are still standing. We adhere to a code of ethics, which I'm sure Tracy, who's my grievance chair on the state, as a matter of fact, she didn't plug that. She's my grievance chair on the state for professional standards, that we adhere to. And we voluntarily adhere to these code of ethics. So we're held to a higher standard. So not only are we policed by the Department of State for New York State, we're also policed by our members, our membership.
So basically what I'm hearing is that a realtor has really nothing to do with licensing.
That's correct.
It has to do with membership.
That's correct. It's a membership organization. Again, we volunteer to be members of this association. There are a lot of benefits from it. We get a lot of tools and skills, education. We have 26 designation and certification courses. I myself am a certified property manager. That's TPM. I'm wearing my little CPM key. I got that from the Institute of Real Estate Management, which is an affiliate of the National Association of Realtors. That's my specialty, although I do residential sales, leasing, commercial, the same. I would have to say that being involved in this association, I've been a member for 18 years. I've been licensed since 1988. So if you do the math, it's almost 29 years I'm licensed.
Wow.
I was not a member. I was not a card-carrying realtor until 1999. I'm very proud that I did make that move, knowing how important it was to my business when I opened it.
So you actually have the perspective of being a non-realtor versus being a realtor.
Correct. I have, like I said, it gave me so many more tools and an avenue to success that I didn't have prior to becoming a realtor.
So I want to go back to the real estate agent. A lot of people really do think that realtor is synonymous with real estate agent, and you've just clarified that it is not. A real estate agent is an individual who has earned a real estate license. Real estate agent and real estate salesperson would be synonymous. They're the same. Then there's also a real estate broker. Can you just give a little clarity to the licensing side of the differences between a real estate agent, a real estate broker, now that we know what the difference is between those guys and a realtor?
Sure. Well, I'm a licensed real estate broker in the state of New York. So I started my career in 1988 by taking the course, as Tracy had as well, and getting my real estate salesperson's license. That's the apprentice portion. So you do that. It's changed over the last 28 years, but you have to hold that license for a couple of years, work under a broker to then the next step up would be to take your broker's license and then move up to being either an associate broker, meaning you're working for a broker under their license, or a owner broker like myself, who manages salespeople and property managers.
Okay, so the first step, someone wants to get their real estate license, they go and they take this course, and every state has different requirements, so they take this course for X amount of hours, and then they pass the test at the end, and now they go and they take the state test, and they become a real estate agent or real estate salesperson.
That's correct.
And then after working X amount of time, having done X amount of transactions, because they have to meet a certain criteria,
that's correct,
then they can go and take a class and further their education and go for their real estate broker's license.
Yes, that's correct.
And now you're saying an associate broker's license and a broker's license, same license. One just means that you're working under a broker, and the other you would be the primary broker.
That's correct.
All right, Sam, I listen.
I think you've been around a while, so you know how it works.
But it's okay. we don't go there. All right, so you mentioned when we were talking about a realtor, that realtors, and I'm a realtor and Tracy's a realtor, they have volunteered to uphold a certain standard and follow the code of ethics that was set forth by the National Association of Realtors. The code of ethics was introduced in 1913 is what my understanding is. Is
over
that right?
100, yes, that's correct. So over 100 years old.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about this code of ethics that we're volunteering to abide by.
There are 3 portions of the Code of Ethics. There are 17 articles, but 3 portions. The first portion would be duty to clients and consumers, customers.
And that's what, Article 1 through 9?
That's correct. The second portion would be duty to the public.
Okay.
And then the last article or the last set of articles, are duty to each other, the other realtors in the transaction.
Okay, so the first one is Article 1 through 9, duties to the clients and customers. The second one is Articles 10 to 14.
Correct.
Am I right? And then the last portion is 15 to 17, which is to realtors.
Yes.
Just give me a brief understanding of what the differences are.
Well, your duties to your clients and consumers are your actions and taking listings and giving correct information and living up to your expertise, your fiduciary responsibility. A duty to the public, advertising correctly, giving proper information. Duty to each other, realtors, doing right by the other realtor, acting in a proper, absolutely, acting in a proper manner, being truthful in the transaction.
And who polices this?
We do.
We do.
We do. Actually, yes, the realtors police this. Like I said, Tracy is my grievance chair for the state, but each local board has a professional standards committee. They also have a grievance committee and a little bit of the transaction, how that works. If a member of the public or a consumer, another realtor has a complaint or a proposed violation that they're bringing forth against another realtor, what they will do is write up a complaint, send it to the local board. The local board will then send it to the grievance committee. The grievance committee weighs the evidence to see if it were
valid,
if
right?
it was
validity
if it
to
were
it.
true, what would you do? Basically, that's what we say. And then if they feel there's validity to it, they will send it up to the professional professional standards for a hearing, and that is set up. And there's all due process.
Okay.
Can-
So you told me the negative side of stuff, right? But there's a lot of positives
Oh,
of
it's amazing.
realtors. Tell me why this is important to a consumer. There's a lot of consumers that are listening, whether they're home buyers or even home sellers. Why would they want to choose a realtor?
I think they want a professional that's held to a higher standard, as we are. I think they want someone who's going to be honest and have integrity and give you the right information that is schooled. We have a lot of classes, and we're always preparing our realtors to be better. So we give that advantage to our realtors.
Victoria, can somebody make the complaint online, or do they have to do it in writing and send it by mail?
That's a good question. I don't believe you can do it online. You have to.
I believe it's in writing.
Yes, it's in writing. But I can tell you that all real estate boards or all realtor boards do have to have the complaint and the professional standards online. So you can go onto the Staten Island Board of Realtors. You can click on their professional standards, and you can get all the information you need to make that complaint.
And how about if somebody wants to research the particular realtor? Is there a way to research on how many complaints there have been made against that particular person? I know that physicians or attorneys, that we have a code of ethics as well, and any time somebody makes a grievance complaint, it gets public information, it gets registered somewhere.
Not in actuality, not with the realtor group, but if there is a Department of State complaint, it will be public. It will be published on the Department of State website.
Right.
And we usually see those as well.
Yeah, I think it's very important to have your realtor check to see as to whether or not they have a history of complaints or history of any wrongdoing, because we are all held to a certain standards of ethics, and it's critical to maintain such. So
I'm going to throw you off topic a little bit, Dawn, just for a second. When we introduced you, we also said that you're very involved with the National Association of Realtors. Proud to say, as my friend, that you're also a Golden R. Would you expand on that a little bit and explain what that means? And you're also in the Hall of Fame, the RPAC Hall of Fame.
Right. RPAC is the
RPAC Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. That's the RPAC. That's our political action committee for the Realtor Group. Very strong as well across the United States and New York State. What this is the ability to contribute to the PAC. Each realtor contributes whatever they'd like to. It's not mandatory. In my case, I have contributed a significant amount over the 15 years or so. I'm not exactly sure how far it goes back. And it's basically the reason I contribute to RPAC is to have a seat at the table with my local, state, and federal elected officials, who I'm going to talk about shortly at another topic.
Yes, you are.
And it's basically to be able, like I said, to have a seat at the table in regard to anything real estate related that's going to be a positive or a negative, not only for the realtor community, the real estate brokers, but also the consumer. What we do is we protect private property rights of our consumers and certainly facilitate the real estate transactions, not only in New York State, but across the United States.
RPAC is one of these, to be a realtor, you could be a part of RPAC. As a non-agent, you couldn't be part of, correct?
That's
couldn't be
correct.
part of
You have
RPAC.
to. You have to have a National Association of Realtors ID number to actually.
What
be a
did you
part
say
of
RPAC stood for?
it. Realtors Political Action Committee.
Okay.
You have a lot going on this year, Dawn. You have a big year ahead and a lot of accomplishments already on the table. What else can we expect from you this year?
Well, I had a couple of goals.
You want her to do more?
I mean,
Really? The woman sleeps 5 hours a night.
I hear you, but, she's got big shoes to fill.
Well, I actually.
I'm sorry, Dawn.
No, that's okay. That's okay. Well, you asked what my plans were for this year. I'm already 3 months in.
Right.
It's almost 3 months. The year goes fast. My goals this year, number one, was realtor safety, to carry the torch for our immediate past president, Linda Lugo. I hope she's watching. I'm giving her a shout out. Also to get our New York First Home legislation. The New York Realtors actually put together legislation that is sitting right now up in Albany.
So important.
So important for us. We'll talk about that in a little while. Also, my other goals were to get the commercial practitioners, our society and affiliates, closer to us. We do have a New York State Commercial Association of Realtors. But I wanted to also reach out to the IREM, which I'm a member of. That's the Institute of Real Estate Management, CCIM, other commercial practitioners, SIOR, which is shopping centers. So my job this year was to bring all the societies and affiliates together in New York State, which we really haven't done before. I thought that was so important because I am the first certified property manager ever to serve in this capacity on the state level.
Wow, that's
in New
very
York State.
impressive. So let's talk a little bit about NYSAR, New York State Association of Realtors. NAR is the National Association of Realtors. That's on a national level.
That's correct.
And then we go to the state level, and obviously in New York State, that would be NYSAR. And then there's also a local board in each community, usually by county, but it's not necessarily by county. Sometimes they're larger and they incorporate many counties, and sometimes they're smaller and they're half a county. I've always been very involved at NYSAR, as I said before. I volunteered on many committees for the past 20 years. One of the most important factors of our state associations is to meet NYSAR's organizational alignment core standards. And there's a couple of things that are included in that. That's the code of ethics that we talked about earlier. There's advocacy. There's consumer outreach. There's the unification of efforts and support for all realtor organizations. There's technology. And there's financial solvency.
How about continuing education? Are there any continuing education programs?
Continuing education does fall under that, but I think it falls more under the code of ethics because you really want to stay competent to be confident. Am I right?
You're correct. In the code of ethics now, we have a biennial. So every 2 years, each one of us are required to take a code of ethics class.
Yes.
So including me, before my presidency, I rushed to do it knowing I had it was ticking. I could not be president without it. So
well, I'm gonna make a confession here.
I don't think you want to do that.
I do, and I will. I missed my code of ethics class, and they knocked me right out of the local board. They said, we don't care if you're a member for 26 years. If you don't finish that class, you're out. I don't care if you paid. So I had to take it, and of course I wanted to take it. I just forgot. So they don't play around.
No, they don't.
You know, it was the first time in 26 years that they actually came after me and said, hey, you missed the deadline, but, you know, you have some grace period, so get your act together. We actually need to go to a break, but when we come back, we're going to hear more from Dawn Carpenter, who is the president of the New York State Association of Realtors, and she's going to let us know what that really means to the consumer and what is it that the state association does for the consumer and what is I can't even talk. What's exactly in place for the consumer's benefit. I'm Victoria Rivadeneira. You're listening to Real Estate Talk on New York's AM 710 WOR.
Every loan has a story, a family, and a dream that fuels it. My name is Jacqueline Sendra, mortgage loan originator number 39117, specializing in first-time homebuyer financing and an array of mortgage products. We recognize the importance of competitive rates and a custom-tailored mortgage loan to suit your needs. United Northern Mortgage Bankers Ltd. celebrates over 37 years of mortgage banking success. Allow us to help you achieve your dream of homeownership by reaching out to me today at 631-478-2706. Again, 631-478-2706. United Northern Mortgage Lenders Ltd. NMLS number 7230 is an equal housing lender and a licensed mortgage banker located at 3601 Hempstead Turnpike, Suite 300, Levittown, New York 11756, New York State Department of Financial Services.
This is Paul Oster, the nation's credit repairman, and I want to help you improve your credit. As the CEO of Better Qualified, I've helped thousands of people over the past 10 years. I'm the credit expert for Fox Business News and all the major networks. I'm a certified FICO Pro that uses the consumer laws to help delete negative information off of credit reports. We have a debt elimination program that focuses on the laws surrounding collections, judgments, and charge-offs. You could be entitled to up to $1,000 per violation. Call now for your free credit consultation. 888-533-8138. That number again, 888-533-8138, or visit us on the web at betterqualified.com.
Hi, this is Tom Marinero, the president of Residential Home Funding, a top East Coast mortgage company. Now is the time to buy a home before interest rates go up. Lock in with a low rate today, or turn your current home into an asset by cashing in on its equity. Why rent when you can own? Why not get cash out of your home now? So call me right now at 1-800-636-LEND. And as a bonus, if you call me right now, I will waive all of my lender fees. That's right, zero lender fees, saving you thousands of dollars. This offer is for purchasing or refinancing a home. Call me and learn more at 1-800-636-LEND. Residential Funding is part of the New York and New Jersey Departments of Banking and Insurance. Our NMLS number is 36152. The number once again is 1-800-636-LEND. That's 1-800-636-LEND.
For more real estate talk, download our free podcast at retalkradio.com. Now back to Victoria Rivadeneira.
Thank you. And we have Dawn Carpenter here in the studio with us. She is the president of the New York State Association of Realtors, among many other titles that she has. And the woman only sleeps 5 hours a night, so she's very busy, and she's doing that for the benefit of all of us. And we very much appreciate you, Dawn, and we very much appreciate that you're here. If you are tuning in right now, you can hear the entire show by going to our podcast found on retalkradio.com. And Dawn, before we left, we were talking about NISAR and the categories that are in place right now. And I'd like you to shed a little bit of light on that. I mainly really want to talk about the advocacy portion of that.
Sure. I'd love to talk about that, especially with our New York First Home Bill sitting up in Albany right now. Going to be decided, we're hoping, sometime this week. Let me explain a little bit about that if I can. Or do you want me to start with, let me start about what we do on the state level as far as advocacy. We have a great government affairs department led by Mike Kelly. He's the head of that, and he is amazing right now. And he's put this legislation together, and it actually deals with a lot of legislation. As you know, you've dealt with him in Article 12A, Victoria,
Yep,
I'm sure.
I have,
and,
yes.
And so is Tracy. Mm-hmm. And basically what the state does is pays attention to all the legislation that's out there that's going to affect the consumer and also affect the realtor and the job that they do on the day-to-day. As you know, regulations change it seems monthly, yearly.
Things change on a regular basis.
And part of our job part of government affairs job at NYSAR is to pay attention to all the legislation, whether it's in New York City centric or it's throughout the state. How is that going to affect the way we do business and the way it's going to affect the consumer? I talked about private, property rights. That's really what we do on the advocacy level, but not only locally on the state level, but also nationally. So there's a three-way agreement. We're handling all three sectors.
And there's a lot of members, so we definitely have a voice.
Absolutely.
One of the largest voices.
Absolutely. Like I said, the state of New York has over 54,000 members. We're number 4 in the nation. The overall
I didn't
is
know that we were
1.2.
number 4.
We're number 4. We're part of the Big Five, as they call it.
Nice.
So, yeah, very proud of that, and we're keeping the numbers up. Actually, we're at the highest amount of members in quite a few years. We had the downturn in 2008, but we've come back strong. We keep growing members. I know Long Island Board of Realtors is growing leaps and bounds as well. Like I said, we were up 230 members since January 1. I'm very happy we're sustaining that, too.
Fantastic.
Very impressive.
And do you feel that that's because the market is getting better, that more realtors are coming back into the industry? Because a lot left when it went down.
Yes, yeah. I think the market has gotten better. However, as you know and Tracy knows, there's a problem with inventory right now. But that's not only here in New York State, it's across the nation. We're all seeing that. And as interest rates rise, you're going to see that happen as well.
Yes, I agree. So I want to bring you back to the advocacy and the consumer outreach. You wanted to talk about there's legislation right now that is a very hot topic, and I'm going to let you speak on that. I just want to kind of get your opinion, though, because New Yorkers across the state struggle to save for a down payment, and closing costs. There's a lot of funds that go into this. NYSAR supports legislation that would allow New Yorkers to save for a down payment and for their closing costs through
New York First Home
Thank you.
legislation. Actually, let me expand on that. We actually created that legislation. We put the wording together.
Is that right?
That's right. NYSAR did that along with the National Association of Realtors. They came on board to support us in these efforts. We put that legislation together last year in 2016 under that president, my very good friend Linda Lugo, who pitched it to NAR, and we got that ball rolling. It did pass unanimously last year in the Senate, but it failed in the Assembly, and now it's moved.
That's fantastic.
Now what's happened is we've brought it forward. I've been up to Albany quite a few times. March 1st, we were up for a special lobby day with members of the Ways and Means Committee at the Assembly level. And then I was up again last Monday thanking everyone who supported it, because what we had happen was the State Senate adopted it into the House 1 budget, which is very important. Mm-hmm. The IDC, which is the Independent Democratic Conference, made up of one of my senators, Diane Savino, thinks it's a no-brainer. They adopted it into their budget. We have 43 sponsors as of today in the Assembly. And we're looking for, we're really looking to, we're down to the wire. It's going to go to a vote. Hopefully by Friday we'll know what's going to happen. But I want to explain about this bill.
It provides a tax deduction, am I right?
It's actually a line item deduction, but it's a savings account. It emulates the 529C college savings program.
How much is the savings?
Well, the savings program would be for a single individual up to $5,000 a year.
Wow.
For a married couple, $10,000 a year. It'll be a line item deduction on the New York State tax return. And at the time they go to closing, there'll be no penalties to withdraw that money. But in a state where we're the third highest as far as closing costs in the nation, I'd have to say this is a no-brainer. Not only are we bringing forth this for the consumer, but we're also bringing forth for the state, because the state now has an ability to make revenue off of those closings.
So everybody wins.
It's a win-win situation. Just to give you a little of the numbers, in the first year, it will cost the state revenue $1.8 million, but in return, they get $31 million in revenue.
Are there people opposing this?
I haven't heard anyone oppose it. I just think they're worried about the revenue number.
Okay.
Yeah. Is this qualified for commercial or only residential?
Only residential, 1 to 4 family.
1 to 4 family. Co-ops and condos as well?
Yes.
Yes, co-ops, condos, single family, 1 to 4 units.
Wow.
One of the outline, they have to just live in the home for 2 years.
That's correct.
So
It has to be a first-time home?
Yes.
First-time
right?
home buyer, yes. Unfortunately, if you were a married couple and one had already owned a home, you wouldn't qualify. Both would have to be first-time home buyers.
So it has to be a primary residence
Primary residence for 2
for
years.
2 years. Cannot be an
Yes.
investment property either.
Well, no, but it's a 1 to 4 family.
Right. So yeah, in that case, you can rent
You could rent a
part
portion
of it.
out. Yes.
Right, assuming you qualify.
Yes.
And per the Siena Research Institute poll that was conducted in December, 84% of New York voters support this.
That's correct. 84%.
That's huge.
So don't know what's going to happen on Friday, but I'm keeping my fingers crossed and more calls that I make to our legislators as I have been the last couple of days, thanking them for their support and also looking for them to stand up for us as they have. I have to tell you, we really have a great Senate and Assembly that care about the consumers in New York State and also care about the realtors.
So
Well, go ahead.
if anybody is interested, if any of the listeners are interested, that they want to make New York First Home a reality, you could visit the website at nyfirsthome.com and click on the Take Action tab and send a letter to your legislators asking for them to support this. It's probably one of the best clicks you'll make if you're a first-time home buyer. This could be really big for you.
Thank
I
you.
agree. I think the more we advocate for it, the better savings and benefits everybody, including the state. So
Thank you. Thank you for that plug, Tracy. I was going to say that, and I'm glad you did first. No, it's okay. I'm glad you did first. It's really important, if I could just stress over the next 48 hours, that the consumers and our realtors who haven't gone on and taken action, or if you want to take action, please go on, please, because this is so important for the New York home buyers, especially the first-time home buyers. We're losing people for jobs. I don't want to lose any more people. They should be able to buy a home here in New York State.
That's right. So you basically answered the question from the very beginning. Why should a consumer care about the New York State Association of Realtors? This is the reason they should care.
This is the reason they should care, because we're always working for them. We're always working on behalf of the consumer and our realtors, making the state of New York strong for our consumers.
Right. So this isn't an association that's really just about increasing business and growth for us. It's really about...
you advocate for the best interest of the consumer,
Absolutely do.
which is I think it's great to have on your side, and we should continue to support you guys.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
You're welcome. A question that I have is attorney referrals by agents/realtors. I heard situations in the past where attorneys would tell their sellers or the prospective buyers that you must use my lawyer, you must use my mortgage broker/mortgage banker, otherwise I'm not giving you the deal. How have you faced anything like?
Personally, no.
No, not personally. On behalf
Personally,
of
no.
NYSER.
As in my position, no, we haven't done that. But I can tell you that side agreements are not legal.
Right.
So when we're giving referral business out to attorneys or mortgage brokers, it's preferable to give more than one. So you're not looking at although it's a misnomer, as Victoria and I